Once upon a time, there were two children named Hansel and Gretel who lived with their father and stepmother near a dark forest. Their family was very poor, and one night, the stepmother whispered to their father, "We have no food left. We must leave the children in the forest, or we will all starve." Reluctantly, their father agreed, and the next day, he led Hansel and Gretel deep into the forest. But clever Hansel had heard their plan and dropped shiny pebbles along the way to leave a trail back home. That night, after their father left them, Hansel and Gretel followed the trail of pebbles under the bright moonlight and found their way home. Their father was overjoyed, but their stepmother was not pleased. The next day, the stepmother took them even deeper into the forest. This time, Hansel dropped breadcrumbs along the way, but the birds ate them up. When night fell, Hansel and Gretel couldn't find their way back. They wandered through the forest for days until they came across a magical gingerbread house. Hungry and tired, they began to nibble on the house, breaking off pieces of candy and cookie. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and an old woman appeared. "Come in, my dears," she said kindly. "I'll give you a place to rest." But the old woman was actually a wicked witch who wanted to eat the children. She locked Hansel in a cage and forced Gretel to do chores. Every day, the witch checked Hansel's finger to see if he was fat enough to eat. But clever Hansel held out a bone instead, tricking her into thinking he was still too thin. Finally, the witch grew impatient. "I'll eat him today, thin or not," she exclaimed. She ordered Gretel to heat the oven, but Gretel pretended she didn't know how. "Stupid girl," the witch snarled, "let me show you." She opened the oven door and leaned in. Quick thinking Gretel pushed the witch inside and slammed the door shut. Hansel and Gretel found the witch's treasure and filled their pockets with gold and jewels. They managed to find their way back home, guided by the birds and stars. When they arrived, their father embraced them with tears of joy. Their stepmother was gone, and the family lived happily ever after, never hungry again. And so, Hansel and Gretel lived a life of plenty and happiness, always remembering the cleverness and bravery that had saved them.